everyone, and thank you so much for attending. This is part 2 of our 3-part virtual youth event series, Focus on Youth, Navigating Your Personal Brand Journey, brought to you by the Youth Solutions Alumni Network. So thanks to all of our youth specialists, alumni for attending today. My name is Amina Shadi, and I am the Alumni and Digital Media Manager for Youth Solutions. Today's session is called Part 2, Map Your Journey. So this event is recorded and available and will be available on our website for those that aren't able to make it today. This event will be led by the extremely talented Kathleen Wolf, who's the founder and CEO of the Purpose Partners, and will help you on your journey towards developing your own personal brand. So today you'll learn how to build your LinkedIn profile to show off your skills, connect with others in your field, and align on your career goals. So today we will be doing 2 prize drawings at the end of today's session. You must be present to win, and make sure that your camera's on to show off your brand to be entered into the first drawing to win some JMG swag. And your camera must be on to be eligible to win. And then all youth that are registered and attending will also have the chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. And then just a reminder, any youth who register, attend, and participate in the activities of all 3 parts of the series will be entered to win a Chromebook at our next session. And before we get started, I will turn it over to Dominique Clay, who is our JMG specialist from GST Michigan Works, who will be leading a fun icebreaker activity to put your knowledge of brands to the test.
Now, I am going to turn it over for the main event to Ms. Kathleen Wolf, so she can introduce herself and then get us started. Kathleen?
All right, I'm pulling up my slides. All right, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I'm Kathleen Wolf. I am the founder and CEO of the Purpose Partners, and we help forward-thinking, socially conscious organizations and individuals stand out with branding, marketing, and communications. And so I'm so excited that you're here today, because oftentimes when I'm working in organizations, I hear a lot of, I wish I would have done this sooner. And one of those things that I hear quite often is, I wish I would have created my LinkedIn profile sooner, or at least made it even better. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So just a quick review. I think it's awesome. You guys did so good on that brand logo exercise, this one and then last time too. And last time we talked about how brands can really help distinguish a product, service, or a concept from its competition. But the fact is that you are also a brand. So make sure that you are thinking about yourself in that way. And really, we also gave out a worksheet for you to gather feedback from others, just to figure out what kind of brand you're projecting. And so if you weren't with us last time and you didn't get that, Amina will follow up after today's session, and she'll email out the materials used today, and she'll include that worksheet as well. But just think about how you tell your brand story is that thing that will help you stand out. And that's what's going to help you get your next opportunity. So today, what I really want for you is, by the end of the session, I want you to understand why LinkedIn is important for your career journey. I want you to know the key areas within your LinkedIn profile, and I want you to be able to comfortably use LinkedIn to help you stand out. Does that sound good? Good. All right. And by the way, if there's any questions during this, raise your hand or put a note in the chat, because I want to make this as interactive as possible. So let's get to it, though. Oh, so yeah. Let me just ask you, where are you at in your LinkedIn profile journey? So in the chat box, let us know. A, I haven't created one. B, I have one, but it's not complete. C, I have one, but I haven't updated it in a while. And D, I have one, but I'd like to know how to make it better. So put your answer in the chat if you could. Okay, I've got A, C, D, C. Okay, B, C. All right, D. And Dominique, actually, when you started talking about wanting to start a blog, you can also check out the publishing area within LinkedIn. So you kind of can do a twofer. So before you go into WordPress, WordPress does have a great solution for blogging. But what I like about putting your articles on LinkedIn is you put them in LinkedIn, that helps your search criteria. So we can talk about that offline. But all right, so I see, like everybody, you've either haven't created one, or you want to make yours better. So thank you for sharing that with me. Did you know that there are 75 million organizations on LinkedIn? It's a lot. There's also 900 million people on LinkedIn. So chances are, if you are going to want to network, or if you want to find a career opportunity, LinkedIn is going to be that place where you're going to be able to learn more about those people or opportunities. So LinkedIn is really important because it gives you that opportunity to build your brand. It gives you a platform to show what's important to you. And we always like to show what's important to you and connect it to your career goals. Your profile really gives you the opportunity to demonstrate your credibility. So in branding, I often talk about know, like, and trust. And so LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to show people what you know. It helps you connect with others so that they get to like you. And then when you show up consistently, people start to trust that you do know what you say you know, and that you are that person that is worth getting to know. So it's great for networking. It also showcases all kinds of job opportunities. So whether you're using LinkedIn to look for your next job, or just figure out what kind of skills are needed in those jobs that you're interested in, LinkedIn will really help you. And so when I help people update their resumes, one of the first things that we do is we look at what kind of jobs are out there that interest you, and look at those postings and find keywords, because you'll want those keywords in your resume, but you'll also want those keywords in your LinkedIn profile. And LinkedIn is also great for researching companies. So, if you are interviewing for a job, I want you all to feel comfortable knowing that not only are you trying to showcase your skills to that company, but you're also learning whether or not that's the right company for you. So you can go out there on LinkedIn, and if they haven't posted on LinkedIn for a while, you have to question, what are their priorities, especially if you're into a forward-thinking organization, or you want to work for a company that cares. LinkedIn can really show you what companies are talking about and what's important to them. So it's really a career information hub that can be very helpful to you. But there are key elements of a strong LinkedIn profile: your photo, your headline, your about, your experience, your education, skills and endorsements, and then also recommendations. So today we're going to cover these elements of your LinkedIn profile. But first, I want to ask you, why is this? What's wrong with this LinkedIn profile?
Hashtag.
There are the hashtags there. So they're hiring. So that if you are looking for a job, that might be one of the hashtags that you follow.
No profile picture.
Exactly. No profile picture. So when, and so this is an actual person that was showing that somebody's hiring, and then off to the side, it's like, oh my goodness. So here's a great example of you are like the company that you keep, because Timothy does not have a profile picture. And then interestingly enough, several of his colleagues, or connections don't have profile pictures. What does that tell you about their interest in LinkedIn? Anything?
Is not sure?
They're not
Yeah,
involved. Yeah, you're not involved.
They're not interested?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it. It's kind of like you're not really putting the best effort into LinkedIn if you don't have a photo. And so, like, that's why we talk about on these sessions to have your camera on, because people like to connect with other people. And so it is very important for you to have a profile picture in your LinkedIn. Now, okay, but then again, here's some examples of other profile pictures. So you got this guy, and I would call him the party animal. You do not want to showcase that you are a party animal on LinkedIn. Here's this guy. He's clearly a hunter, and that's okay, because it might be one of his extracurricular activities, but I would say you do not want to have guns or anything controversial in your profile picture. Keep that for Facebook. Here, here's a guy that's clearly a biker. And if he worked for like Schwinn or Trek or something like that, that might be an appropriate profile picture. But for the rest of us, probably not. And then this last one, although very artistic, I would say it's a little drab, and it really doesn't show off this person. So, be really mindful about your profile picture. You want to have one, but you also want to make sure that you have a good one. So your LinkedIn photo should be professional looking. And I just happened to be out on Psyche Terry. She's the founder and owner of Urban Hydration. You may have met her at one of the commencement speeches she gave last year, but also we've written a couple of articles about Psyche Terry for Black History Month, and then also for Women's History Month. This is a beautiful photo of Psyche. So just some tips here. No mirror selfies. Get someone to take the picture for you. And think about the background. I mean, this orange, it really just makes Psyche's features just pop. I happen to have a white background in mine just because it allows it to blend in with others. But just be cognizant and think about the background. If you're artistic, you might want to have a brick background or something, but pay attention to what's in the background of the photo. You want the image focused on you. It really does set the tone for your profile. So pay attention to that LinkedIn photo. Now, and what I'm saying, you don't have to go out and pay for a professional photograph, but you want it to look as professional as you can. Then next, we've got the headline. The headline is that brief description that appears next to the user's name in the search results. It's 220 characters, and it's a great way of describing what you do and who you serve. And I put a couple of examples here. So one thing, so here's Tristan. She's an actual person that I know that works at HubSpot. And so she didn't put that she's just an associate marketing manager first. What she did is she put that statement out there that how she serves others. She's optimizing content to reach professionals around the world. So, that'll make her stand out versus all of the other marketing managers that are out there. And then Ayushi, she is somebody that I know through somebody else. And I like how she says, I bridge the gap between students and networking. So that's what she does uniquely. And she doesn't even put her job title here. That's okay. Because, you know, in your experience section, you will have your job title if you have one. But the thing that I love about this, for those of you who are students, is that it's not focused on your job title. It's focused about what you do uniquely and who you serve. It's an opportunity to show the world what you're capable of. And when it's clever, it might give a person another reason to visit your profile. So when you're thinking about your headline, think about what sets you apart. Sound good? Next, I wanted to give you a little tip, because this is something that not a lot of people know. And this happens to be my profile, because then I could show you the example. When you are on your profile, it'll come up and it'll, you know, normally if you don't claim your personalized URL, it'll come up with your name and a bunch of numbers, and it's hard to communicate. But if you go onto your profile, you can go over to the right here and say, click on this area, edit your public profile and URL. And then you can claim the URL with your name. So I encourage you to do that sooner rather than later, especially if you have a common name. Because if I wanted to do just Kathleen Wolf, somebody else has that. So that's why I had to put my middle name in there, Kathleen Curtis Wolf. But the nice thing about this is that it's a shortened URL. So when you're creating your resume, you can put this on your resume so people can see, you know, give them an easy access to the things that get to know you better. Claim your personalized URL. In your about summary statement, you know, people here might think, I don't have years of experience. Well, that's okay. This is your opportunity to tell a story that helps people get to know you better. You've got 2,600 characters for this space, and that includes spaces. So what I would recommend you do is that you type this up in Word or, you know, in Google, and use the word count so you can see. Use all your characters, but demonstrate your passion here. Explain what's unique about you and your talents, and include a call to action to ask for something. So, you know, here's an example. I'm a recent graduate of XYZ. During my time in school, I held, you know, leadership positions. You know, Myrna, you can talk about how you work in the school store. That makes you stand out. You might also put in here, you know, some skills that you have that are different. You talk about your work experience. If you've had jobs or volunteer experience, this is the way to tell your story. And then at the end, I would wrap it up, you know, talking about what you're interested in. And, you know, when I say about a call to action, you know, in this one, I'm seeking an entry-level position in marketing communications or public relations. So at the end of your about area, ask for something. You know, it might be that you ask to job shadow somebody in a specific industry, or you might ask, you know, that you're looking for a mentor. Always ask for something. That gives somebody a reason to really connect with you on LinkedIn. And what I would say too is begin with the end in mind. Think about what kind of opportunities that you might be looking for. You might not have your, you know, ultimate career figured out yet, and that's okay. But maybe you're interested in getting exposure to different industries. But maybe you have already figured out that you like certain things. This is your opportunity to build a profile around those things that you're really passionate about. The other area that you can use to showcase what makes you unique is the featured section. And so it comes, you know, midway through your profile. And I see that oftentimes this is an area that people don't use. And for those of you who have been in competitions, who have artwork, maybe you've created videos, maybe you've got testimonials from a teacher or your specialist. Put that in the featured section. You know, awards, photography, highlight your blog posts. You know, maybe you just do a snippet there, but you can have an unlimited number of featured items here, but just know that really about 3 of them show up consistently. And then there would be an arrow over here that people can look through. And so you can also continue to reshuffle these. And so, you know, with St. Patrick's Day coming up, this was one of my clients. And so I put them in the first position because they happen to be an Irish retailer. But give that some thought and put some content in your featured area. Make it really visual because that will make your profile pop. And then in the experience and education section, you might be feeling a little light here, but that's okay too. Highlight specific outcomes or accomplishments. Do you have a leadership role within the YAC? Do you attend NSLA or the CDC? All of these acronyms are kind of funny, but and don't use acronyms in your profile without explaining what they mean. But you know, if you've been involved and the fact that you're here today, you're active with Youth Solutions, put that in your experience in education. Do you take part in extracurricular activities? Include your volunteer and work experiences. Those are all things that show, you know, that you have interests. It's really about helping others get to know you a little bit better. I would also say, you know, highlight your coursework that interests you. Have you taken any classes that are related to your future career? Have you had any internships? Think about those targeted keywords that are relevant to the field that you're in, because that is what's going to serve your LinkedIn profile up to people who are interested in that as well. Another area that often goes underused is the whole skills and endorsements. So at the bottom of your profile, LinkedIn puts together a list of competencies, and you can select from 50 competencies to prove to potential employers that you're an ideal candidate. And what's interesting is when you select them, other people who you are networking with will get those served up to them, and they'll be asked, you know, does Kathleen know marketing strategy? Does Kathleen know market research? And so people can say, yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. And then based on what other people think about your skills, your top skills will start to rise. And so that's where other people who are interested in learning more about you that may not know about you can get an idea of what you're interested in, what are skills that you have. So my advice here, complete this section and think about, you know, job descriptions that might be your dream position. What are those skills that other companies are looking for? And are there any that you already have? Because if those are skills that somebody is looking for and you're interested in them, you want to make sure that they show up in your profile for sure. So, and the other thing I would say too is don't be afraid to highlight those human skills like teamwork, communication, leadership, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking. You know, these are all skills that you're learning in the JMG program. So, you know, be okay with showcasing all of this that you're learning. And then recommendations. Recommendations, it's funny, and I hear it with people who are new to LinkedIn as well as seasoned people. It's like, I feel a little awkward about asking people for recommendations. It's kind of like fishing for compliments. It's okay. Recommendations add credibility. And if you've done a good job for somebody else, so you've served them in some way, or you've created what I call a mutually beneficial relationship, they're going to be willing to give you a recommendation. And 85% of hiring managers look at LinkedIn recommendations. So if you can get some good recommendations out there, it works in your favor. So ask the right people in the right way. Think about teachers, specialists, administrators, employers or managers, or connections in the industry that and that have credibility in that industry, because that'll make you look better. Also mentors. Those are great sources of recommendations. They're happy to do this for you. Trust me. So just to kind of wrap it all up here, I put together a little list of do's and don'ts. So from a photo perspective, remember, use a professional looking photo. Don't use a casual or inappropriate profile picture. From a headline perspective, write a clear and concise headline that helps you stand out. Don't use a generic headline that doesn't reflect your unique experiences or goals, or just one that says your job title. Show how you serve others in a creative way so you can stand out. In your summary area, craft a compelling summary that highlights your unique skills and experience. This is a great opportunity to let your personality come out. And so, don't use a vague or incomplete summary that doesn't show your skills or experiences. Let your unique personality shine here. And some additional considerations, I would say connect with people you know, as well as those who you admire or respect. And quite honestly, I will connect with anyone who has a profile picture and is interested in connecting with me. Keep your profile updated, share content, and interact with others regularly. That's how you build that know, like, and trust. On the don't side, don't spam your network with irrelevant requests. If there's one thing that really makes me, irked, is when I do connect with someone and right away they try to ask me for something or sell me something that doesn't even relate to anything that I'm interested in. So don't ask for something before you give somebody something. And what you give might just be some content. And so I would say also don't share inappropriate or controversial content that could damage your reputation. And don't neglect your reputation, or don't neglect your network. People's birthdays pop up there. It takes 2 seconds to say happy birthday. Or if somebody, posts an accomplishment out there, say, like, great job. Or, I will pick a number of people every week just to check in with them. Say, hey, how are things going? Because again, this is not about you just, sending your information out. Networking is about building a relationship with others. So I really encourage you to do that. So wrapping it up, are there any questions before I turn this over?
Megan had a really good question. She wanted to know in regards to the profile picture, what about pictures from a service project?
Yes. A picture from a service project would be great, because that showcases, it talks about your interest. So yes, but make sure you're, from a profile picture, if it's with others, you want to make sure though that you stand out. Your profile picture is about how you stand out. And if the picture isn't clear, or if it's with a large number of people, use that in your featured area instead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking was, because a lot of times when our JMG programs are doing things out in their community, like what would be the product that they could put on LinkedIn? Like what could be the thing? And there might be a handout that someone creates, but I think like depending on the picture, you could capture the spirit of the event as well for that featured portion. And I guess would a picture be okay in the featured?
Yes. Oh, definitely. And so too, what it allows you to do is when you post that picture, you have a opportunity to edit comments and put a few comments in there. So it gives context about what the picture is. So yes, put that in there.
And then they could also, like, depending on, maybe it's not big enough of something to put as a featured, but they could post it as something that they're participating in to create that, because they're participating, I guess, just to professionally promote themselves.
Yes, yes. And actually you can do both. You can create a post and put it in your featured page, because I think right now, my guess is that you know, the folks on this call might be a little bit light in that featured section. So don't be afraid to put things on there, and then you can always add more, because again, it's up to 50, and then you can always shuffle them to put the messages that you want others to see in that first, second, or third position. So great. Yes, thanks, Megan. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so since I'm currently my senior year of my marketing class, and
Yes.
after we take a certain exam, we get to have 3 college credits, and we also get certified for something that's called VE. So it's VE International. It has to do with DECA. It's another organization. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after, if I pass the exam with the score that I need to get the credits, would I add that to LinkedIn or?
Yes. So first of all, I would say when I pass with a great score, because you're going to pass, you're going to do a great job. Yes, that is a great accomplishment to put out there. Yes. Did you go to the DECA conference last weekend?
No, I didn't do any of the competitions.
Okay. All right.
But I did go to a trade show on Tuesday. It was in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and Illinois. They went.
So those are great things to post about too, especially if you're interested in marketing. Yes. Yes, great. And so, and I just put up here in our next session, we are going to talk about content strategies that'll help you generate ideas and posts so that you can have consistent content out there that'll help build your credibility. But everything that we've just been talking about, you know, the fact that you work in the school store, put that out there, because more than likely you use a point of sale system, you know, to collect money. Put that, you know, Stripe or Square, those are all great, you know, skills to have. Fantastic.
Yeah, right now we're
so-
doing a Shamrock fundraiser. We're accepting donations for a muscle disease cause.
Yes.
And with that, we get extra credit.
Right. Yeah. And so if you're passionate about raising money for others, that's a great way to show your purpose. So love that. That's all good content. So I'll turn this over, so make sure that you stick with us in the next session to make sure that you know how to create the best content that'll help really promote your profile. So thank you all. I'm going to turn this over so that we can wrap it up. I'm going to stop sharing.
Wow, Kathleen, thank you so much for leading another incredibly informative event. This has been great. After attending today's event, for those of you that are here, I hope you all feel enabled, energized, and confident to continue your personal brand journey. But before we move on to the prize drawing, I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself and talk about some exciting opportunities opportunities that you have through the JMG network. So my name is Cheryl. I am a Jobs for Michigan graduate specialist in Cadillac, Michigan. And I've been in the position for almost 4 years now. I love this position and the relationships that are built around walking alongside youth to explore themselves and their areas of interest and assisting them with coming up with a plan for their future and encouraging them to stick with it. These are a few of the main reasons that I love being part of the Alumni Network. I would like to invite any of you alumni and this year's graduating seniors in attendance today to join the Alumni Network so you can stay connected too with JMG beyond graduation. Each one of you is super important to us, and we'd love to continue to see you flourish and to help encourage one another and the other members coming in after you to keep going on their journeys. Simply join our JMG Alumni Network Facebook group to unlock opportunities to network and participate in fun and rewarding activities like this. Plus, if you join by June 9th, you will be entered into a drawing to win a $50 gift card. So get out those phones and scan that QR code there on the screen and join us, please. All right, back to Amina to talk about another way to stay connected. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Yeah, we are really excited to have the Alumni Network, so we would love to have all of you join. So I do want to bring up another way to stay connected and involved with Youth Solutions, which is through our Youth Advisory Council, also known as the YAC. So the YAC is a group of emerging leaders who are passionate about Jobs for Michigan's graduates programming and want to help us carry out our purpose of inspiring and connecting youth to achieve a future beyond imagination. So becoming a YAC member means being a leader, a supporter, and an advocate of the JMG program and fellow JMG students and friends across the state. So the YAC does a lot of fun activities, one being planning our annual graduation celebration in May that features guest speakers, fun prizes, and more. So be on the lookout for more information for that. And if you are interested in joining the YAC, please take a second to scan the QR code on the screen to apply or contact Kelsey Lee Master, who runs the YAC. I'll go ahead and put her contact information in the chat, and I'll also go ahead and email it afterwards with the other resources. There's her email address. Awesome. So we would love to hear your feedback to help us prepare for our next event. So please take a second as well to fill out the survey using the QR code on the screen. And it will also be sent to you afterwards in an email. So you can fill it out afterwards as well. Awesome. And our final part of the 3-part series called Part 3 Takeoff will be on Thursday, April 27th from 12 to 1 via Zoom again. And more information and a registration link will be available soon. And just as another reminder, any youth that register, attend, and participate in all of the activities of the 3-part series will be entered into a drawing to win a Chromebook. So make sure to attend our next part of the series on April 27th.